Characters are the most captivating aspect of animation. No story can be moved forward without a catalyst. They normally take the form of the people that are proactively pursuing a goal, or simply reacting to whatever the author throws at them. As a species, humans tend to better relate to things that look and behave like us, and there's no better medium than animation to bring those fictional people to life. So how do you animate your own? We first need to know what tools are available to us. So let's talk about software. TOON, Bloom, Harmony. It won't be a video about 2D animation if we don't talk about the single biggest name in the industry. Used almost universally for being the most versatile, whether it's frame by frame or puppet animation, it does it all flawlessly. The only thing it may leave lacking is your wallet, as it is in fact a little on the expensive side. But it is expected from the industry standard. Cartoon Animator. This one is far more specialized in puppet animation. We will discuss the different 2D animation methods a bit later on, but for now what you need to know is that puppet animation takes the same approach as 3D animation, using a pre-built model that is rigged then programmed to move to your whim. What Cartoon Animator offers over its competition is a motion capture add-on. If you are going to splurge, might as well make your life as easy as possible, right? And that's what motion capture does. It allows you to record your movements in real life and then interpret and immediately apply them to your character rig. This program is compatible with webcams and iPhone cameras, with the latter being some of the most face-sensitive cameras in the market, rendering them very popular among people like VTubers. It also obviously supports full-body motion capture as well. OpenTOONZ. This one's for the Ghibli fans! OpenTOONZ is the open source version of Ghibli's internal animation software. This one is for those that prefer a more physical approach to animation. It is more suited for frame-by-frame traditional animation. It has built-in support for ICC cameras and animation scanners, so you can easily clean and organize your hand-drawn artworks, among other quality-of-life features. Best one being, it's free. Grease Pencil. Last but not least on our list of recommendations is Blender. More specifically, it's a Grease Pencil plugin. Blender in general has been seeing a lot more use within professional productions. It's extremely versatile. The biggest advantage it provides is the ability to traditionally animate characters over 3D backgrounds, simplifying the complicated process of creating smooth and dynamic camera shots with both frame-by-frame and puppet animation. It also has a built-in video editor, so you can even do compositing and post-production VFX. It's free, not resource intensive, and can pretty much do it all rather competently. What's there not to like? That being said, any program you can animate in is perfect for character animation. That includes software that are mostly marketed for illustration, as long as they include a timeline. The market is definitely not lacking, so it will depend on your preference and budget. But to make a short list longer, you can also consider Adobe Animate, Photoshop, Clip Studio Paint, Krita, Moho, TV Paint, Adobe After Effects, and the list goes on. Our channel covers a lot of what these programs can do and even offers direct comparisons, so feel free to check them out at your leisure. Before we continue, let me tell you about Skillshare, which is a platform that has hundreds of classes about animation, drawing, illustration, and several other creative fields. For example, this class by BAFTA winner Fraser Davidson, the director, animator, and co-founder of Cup Animation Studio. In this fun course, you are going to learn how to bring your characters to life using After Effects. If you are on the fence about character animation like myself, then this course is the perfect pick to get your feet wet. Or if you tried before and failed, trust me, we've all been there. Fraser, throughout this course, will guide you step by step on the best skills for character animation, by first building a simple character in Illustrator, and then importing it to After Effects to rigging everything. And then the fun part is when you learn how to animate a simple walk cycle. By the end of this one, you should have a good understanding of how to use the power of After Effects to create rigs and to animate characters. So if you want to learn more about this course, links will be in the description below. Alright, now back to the video. Types of character animation. We've been harping on about frame-by-frame and puppet animation, so So what's the difference between the two? Frame-by-frame animation, or the OG technique, it relies on individually drawn images or frames to represent different segments of a single action or scene. The fact that every single drawing is unique leads to way more dynamic, expressive results. It opens up the gateway to drama and gives you absolute freedom to emphasize facial acting, expressions, body language in a way other mediums struggle to replicate. It does come with the drawback of being a lot more time consuming. It's a lot less technical in the programming sense of the word and places more emphasis on the animator's draftsmanship and the knowledge of the fundamentals of drawing and animation. There is two main ways to go about animating your characters with this method. The first one being straight ahead. It simply means drawing every frame of your character's action in order of it resolving. You start with the first frame and continue straight ahead, pun intended, to the end of the action. The second method is animation through keyframes. Just like the name implies, you start by drawing the key poses, usually where the action starts and ends, with some of the more important action-defining transition poses in the interim, and you complete the scene by filling in the in-between. To learn more about the principles of character animation, we recommend you take a look at Plainly Simple's How to Animate a Character, which in very basic terms explains some tricks to bring your characters to life in a more convincing and visually appealing manner. Puppet animation. Hand-drawn traditional animation is an amazing storytelling form, but as beautiful as it is, it can sometimes be rather cumbersome and time-consuming. Thanks to technology, however, we have managed to find an alternative to drawing up individual frames. This technique takes inspiration from 3D animation and applies what is borrowed onto two-dimensional artwork. Instead of constant redraws, we pose a single model of a character in different snapshots, recorded in the given software in the form of keyframes. We then let the computer interpolate the in-betweens. These interpolations can be altered after the fact to build up anticipation and to have a more satisfying resolution to the action and to overall make the animation less stiff and robotic looking. The reason why puppet animation has been seeing more use in the industry is due to how cost-effective, speedy, and visually appealing it can be, especially for children's media. It doesn't require intense software knowledge like 3D animation, nor incredible draftsmanship skills like in traditional 2D animation. So how does it work? Depending on how you're animating, there is two main ways puppet animation is produced. Both of them involve having a base model or artwork. Distortion. You can most commonly find this in animated splash illustrations, but can also be found elsewhere. Through the use of a mesh or distortion tool, you can, as the name implies, distort and almost liquefy your subject matter in your different keyframes. It's most effective for flowy objects like clothes or hair, but it can also be used in tandem with the next method for even better results. Rigs and bones. In a process called rigging, we give a 2D illustration of a character what is referred to as bones or skeleton. For this to be the most effective, you need to isolate every part of the character into separate sections. Depending on the software, you will either use layers, symbols, or whatever it is most effective for each respective program. For each section, you will need to establish joints that will be linked through the aforementioned bones. Also, depending on the program, you will have different levels of rig complexity. Some will support entire character rotations and even allow you to have different limbs and props as part of the same model for you to replace and add and remove as necessary. For an all-inclusive basic guide to rigging, we recommend you check Chit-Chat's character rigging in Adobe Animate and After Effects. It goes into the differences in rigging methods and how to best take advantage of each respective program. And Drawshawn has an in-depth series that goes into detail about rigging every single part of a character, from the overall body to specific body parts, all the way to complex character turnarounds in Toon Boom Harmony, which is definitely worth exploring to help you better understand this process. Even with programs that don't necessarily support rigging and puppet animation as a whole, you can still bypass it through the use of folders and hierarchy, clearly explained by the Animation Man in his Real Puppet Animation in Clip Studio Paint. Animation is infinitely complex, and for the sake of brevity, we can only offer a basic introduction and open some pathways for you to follow at your own pace. Otherwise, we will be here for literal generations. So we hope this video helped you get acquainted with the different approaches you can take to bring your characters to life. And as always, we encourage you to take things into your own hands, do your own research, and carve your own path forward. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Tell us what you want to see next in the comments below. And as always, we'll catch you next time. Take care!